Welcome back, guys. I'm Sage Valentine, and I'm back here to review the final episode of AMC The Walking Dead Season 8. This time, it is all about episode 16, so let's just get down to it. Let me know what you thought of this episode, the season, the series, the Walking Dead universe as a whole. Anything Walking Dead related, leave me some comments. Let's chat about what happened, what you liked, what you didn't like. But let's get down to this review. I loved the scene with Carl and Rick walking up that dirt road. It's beautiful. I liked how it cut to the close-ups of those very interesting walkers, and it cut to a close-up of Alden walking up the road. Rick and Gracie, cute. Sadiq walking in with the bottle, even cuter. Sadiq talking about his mom and about Carl, just tugged at my heartstrings. Beautiful. Carl was such an amazing character. It's so sad that we lost him this season. We still don't know why that happened. We know why it happened as far as the story is concerned. We may never know or learn anytime soon why it happened the way it happened outside of the TV show. And at this point, I don't even want to know. I just want to keep on going because the wound is still fresh as far as Carl's death. I loved Sadiq's quote that all that's left of the people we lose that was theirs are their ideas. Beautiful quote. I think that Henry is going to be the kid in Carol's charge that won't die. I love Ezekiel and Jerry's banter. I'm so glad that it's going to continue into season 9. Maggie locked up Gregory. Thank goodness. He can't be trusted. Daryl still believes that Dwight set up Team Family in the Kingdom. And Hilltop, Daryl has the right to his opinion because he doesn't know what we know as viewers. Morgan's mind is messed up, and Henry stops him from killing the refugee saviors, particularly Alden. Maggie won't allow those saviors to help out in the fight, but essentially they end up helping out, and they still pledge their allegiance to Team Family and to the Hilltop, even through everything that happened. Now, Morgan believes that he has to help out and to keep everyone safe despite the fact that people are still kind of side-eyeing him, and Rick was like, maybe you should stay behind, and Morgan's like, no, I gotta help out. Morgan believes that he and Rick are worse than they were previously, and they reflect upon what happened at the bar. You know, when Jared and the rest of those saviors, basically Rick and Morgan killed them. And I don't disagree with what they did because it had to be done. And they did what they had to do. That's what Morgan said. And they only did that because they lost everything. Rick doesn't believe that, but Morgan does. He says they can't go back to the way things were. And I believe that they can't go back as well. And Morgan sounds like some of the fans when he says, let's just finish this, because a lot of the fans were sick of the all-out war storyline, particularly as it pertained to Negan. People still are mad about Negan, and quite a few people are angry that Negan survived the season. Me personally, I'm not, because I read the comics and I knew that they were going to keep Negan alive because of Negan's crazy. And I'm all here for it myself. Now, that shot of Rick and Michonne holding hands while walking into the battle was everything and more. It was so cute. We get to the sanctuary where Father Gabriel, I put Father Gregory. I guess because I was thinking of Gregory's shady butt. But anyway, Eugene and Father Gabriel are walking into the sanctuary. They see Dwight dressed in that sweatsuit that Daryl wore. And I love how, on a side note, Laura is wrangling Dwight because of Laura and Dwight's sort of relationship in the comics and how close they are. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's going to happen on the TV show, or maybe it will happen with Dwight and another character. I do not think that we are going to see the last of Dwight. I think that he's going to pop up again, much to Daryl's dismay. Now, Negan says that Dwight no longer has the people's respect. No. And Negan is happy to see Eugene and Gabriel. Eugene says that the bullet order is filled, and he tells Negan to test it out. So Negan fires a couple shots at an effigy of Rick. So Eugene requests to ride with Negan so that he can witness everything that happens. And here is where I started realizing Eugene is up to something. Negan makes Father Gabriel tag along for a confession, and he sent, apparently, some of his men to their deaths because those men thought that they were at that particular spot to create a roadblock with walkers that was similar to the roadblock that we saw in season 6. Unfortunately, they met their end via Team Family. That was pretty cold on Negan's part, but that's the Negan that I remember from the comics. So Negan said if anyone had to take one for the team, it had to be those guys. He told Father Gabriel that Dwight told Team Family a fake plan. Team Family will essentially find a map once they kill these guys with a time and a place where Negan and the Saviors are supposedly going to be, and that's when he will swoop in. And of course, Morgan hallucinates, and he sees, of all people, Jared, and we had to, of course, see what Jared looked like after death, and that was just disgusting. But what isn't disgusting or creepy on The Walking Dead in terms of deaths? It's pretty crazy. So Jesus checks in on him, and I'm just like, what is Jesus's in-game checking in on Morgan in this episode? Like, what's going on with that? So Ezekiel finds that map that Negan was telling Father Gabriel about, and it's a map of where the Saviors are supposed to be, and all of a sudden Rick decides to change the plan. Father Gabriel learns that Negan wants to wipe out the Hilltop, the Kingdom, and Team Family as a whole, and when the car that they're in has to swerve to miss a walker, Father Gabriel jumps out of the car and does this tuck and roll and escapes. Despite the fact that he's blind, he barely makes it, but kudos to Father Gabriel for really stepping up. I'm so proud of that character. I swear I am. Eugene seems like he's struggling with something as he holds the gun to Father Gabriel's face once he and Laura catch up to Father Gabriel, because you know Father Gabriel can't make it that far because he is blind. Negan hits Father Gabriel in the belly with Lucille, and he tells Eugene beforehand that he wants to, quote-unquote, kill Father Gabriel himself. So for a minute there, it seemed like he was going to brain Father Gabriel with Lucille, but then he decides not to. I guess he's going to kill him later on. This is what I'm thinking while I'm watching the episode. So Jesus tries to reason with Morgan, getting him to stop killing people. Again, I'm like, what is going on with Jesus and this whole come to Jesus thing with Morgan? And then Team Family makes it to this really big meadow. The Saviors pull up to the Hilltop Gate. That's when Cal yells out, and that's when they all start to make their escape and run into the woods. Team Family walks into the trap, and on Twitter I tweeted this and had this gif of Malcolm X where he's just like, damn it, and that's how I felt during that scene, like, damn it, they walked right in this trap. I thought they had another plan. Ugh. So Negan starts talking to them via a sound system of some kind, or what the heck is the name of that thing? Not an air horn. Oh, I can't think of the word, but I think you know what I'm talking about. The big old thing they speak into. So, and people speak into when they're in a crowd. Oh, I can't think of that word. But anyway, Negan says he has Team Family surrounded. He also brought along Eugene, who made the bullets. Dwight, who was not as shady as they thought he was. Dwight tried to help them, and Negan knew that and gave them a fake plan, and Negan also says that Father Gabriel has to die. Negan reveals he wants to clean house, kill all of them, and then kill Rick. When the time comes to do the killing and the Saviors pop up from their respective hiding places, the bullets don't work. They backfire on everyone who fires, and there's quite a few injured saviors. Negan's hand is hurt, and he is pissed at Eugene. Father Gabriel takes the opportunity to knock Negan in the face, only to fall over. Dwight pops up and gets some hits in. The battle begins, and it is glorious. Baby Gracie is crying. And I'm back to the hilltop group that's in the woods. Tara decides she's going to try and slow down the saviors, because baby Gracie is crying. And the refugee saviors want to help her out. Rosita kills Regina and the other saviors coming for Eugene. I will not miss Regina because she seemed to be turned on by killing. She was creepy enough in that one episode. Remember, we didn't see her face in the beginning of season 8, and then all of a sudden when we saw her, I'm just like, so that's the one that was kind of, you know, getting a rise out of killing Team Family. Bye, Regina. I don't miss her, just like I don't miss Simon at this point. So Jesus tells Morgan that he doesn't have to kill the saviors. Again, what is up with Jesus and this come to Jesus thing with Morgan? Why does he feel the need to help Morgan? What is his end game? So the Oceanside ladies show up in the nick of time with Aaron, and they kick butt and take names with those Molotov cocktails and take out all those saviors. Laura and the saviors around her decide to surrender to Maggie, Michonne, Sadiq, and the rest of that small crew they're with. Then it is Rick versus Negan. Their fight scene is wild. It looked like Negan was going to hit Rick with Lucille. Negan seems to be echoing the sentiment of the fandom who was pissed off by the eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing. And he said that the only reason he didn't kill Rick was because he didn't want to kill a father in front of his son. He believes that if he had killed Rick, then Carl would be alive. Rick tries to reason with Negan to get him to give up, to listen to reason in general. He tells him, give me 10 seconds for Carl. And he says that Carl was right about there not having to be a fight or a battle. They didn't have to do this. Negan has tears in his eyes, and that's when Rick slits his throat. You don't know how long I've been waiting for that moment. It was glorious. I liked how Negan was bleeding out, because I don't think he bled that much in the scene in the comic book. But I was just like, this show is upping the ante. That was fantastic. Negan was just like, Carl didn't know a damn thing. Rick starts envisioning himself walking with Carl up that dirt road. Now, Rick tells Sadiq to save Negan. Maggie is going off. She's like, we have to end this. We have to make this right. It's not over until he's dead. I'm with Maggie. I agree with Maggie. But the show had to echo the sentiment that it had in the comics, that death was too good for Negan. To kill Negan would be perfect. Negan has to suffer through what he went through. But again, I agree with Maggie, because on the one hand, Negan should die for what he did to Abraham and to Glenn and to Olivia, and how Sasha had to kill herself. I do agree that Negan deserves some justice, but this is one hell of a way to dish out karma, because Negan has to live with what the hell he did, which is even worse in my opinion. Rick says there has to be something after. Everyone is going to go home. The era of Negan is over. Anyone who can't deal with that will pay the price. They, meaning the people he's around, Team Family, the Kingdom, the Hilltop, and the Sanctuary are life, and that herd shown in the background is death. There's gotta be something after. Eugene revealed to Rosita that he sabotaged the guns. Rosita hit him in the face because he vomited on her. That was hilarious. Morgan gives his armor to Carol, saying he's going to be okay. He needs to be, and he wants Carol to give that armor to Henry, because that armor, I believe, was his brother's armor, Henry's brother's armor. Then we see that sad close-up of Rick's red-rimmed eyes that we saw earlier in the season. And Rick, I believe this is a quote from somewhere. I'm not sure if it's from the Bible. It says, "My mercy prevails over my wrath." And then we finally see Rick having one good cry. It's about time. Alden tells Maggie that he and the refugee saviors are leaving to go back to the sanctuary. He now has some ammunition in the form of the information that came from that book, The Key to the Future, that Maggie was giving. He can build things. Maggie gave him that life, and he's thankful for that. I don't think that this will be the last time we see Alden, and I do think that Alden and Maggie will end up in a relationship, as long as AMC renews Lauren Cohan's contract. Because the last time they didn't renew someone's contract was Chandler Riggs, and Chandler got killed off, and I don't want to see Maggie get killed off. We get to see Frankie and Tanya at the sanctuary. They no longer have on those high-heeled shoes and those dresses. They are dressed normally. That's the end of the era of the wives. We see Laura, and she kind of smiles, I think, at Rosita. Laura's doing some sort of gardening. Basically, the reconstruction of the world as we know it in the zombie apocalypse, the world at the kingdom, the hilltop, the sanctuary, Alexandria. It's all beginning. We see Daryl and Dwight together. Dwight has come to terms with the fact that he is going to die by the hands of Daryl. At least this is what he thinks. He says he's remorseful for what he did to Denise. He believes he's going to die. He got to see Negan taken down. That's enough. He apologized. He begs for his life. Daryl's just like, you know what? Go. But if you ever come back and I see your face, I'm going to kill you. He tells Dwight to go and find Sherry. Morgan goes to visit Jadis. He tells her she can come to the community if she wants to. And by the community, I mean Alexandria, Hilltop, wherever. She can join up with humanity again. And he said that Rick wants to show people that things can change. And he tells Jadis, you don't want to be alone. We learn that Jadis's name is Anne. Morgan tells Jadis to go and that he will stay at the garbage dump. He says that he needs to be alone because his mind is not right, and it isn't right. Dwight goes back to the house that he shared, or he stayed with Sherry before they became part of the Saviors. She left him a note. Apparently she ate those pretzels and drank that beer that he left. We see Jerry, Henry, Ezekiel, and Carol heading back to the kingdom. So I do believe that Carol has taken on Michonne's story arc from the comic books, where Michonne stays with the kingdom for a while. But that happened during All Out War, but as you can see with the TV series, they're doing something completely different, but they're still kind of following that storyline as well. I think that the writers did a good job with that scene involving Negan, Michonne, and Rick. That is a scene that we do not see in the comic books. So when you read the comic books, do not expect to see Negan laid out talking to them or them talking to him, because it does not happen. I like how basically they are going to use Negan as an example and finally put him in his cell. It is about time. From the moment Morgan constructed that cell, I've been waiting patiently. That's another scene from the comics that I have been waiting for. I'm so looking forward to season 9. I love how Rick and Michonne basically told Negan, listen, you're going to be an example of what will be. You're going to rot in a cell, and you will see how wrong you were. And they are going to keep him breathing so that he will learn another way. And Negan basically, again, has to live with what he did. I love that scene of seeing Father Gabriel in the church that's hollowed out after the fire and everything's burnt up, and how he thanks God for another chance to live and for all the blessings he has given him. And Father Gabriel is a teary-eyed mess, and that shot of that golden light coming into the church was beautiful. And I also liked how the episode ended with Rick kind of talking to Carl via a letter saying, I remember, I forgot who I was, you made me remember, you brought everyone to this new world, you showed me, meaning Rick, the new world, and he made it real. So as I said before, I am completely content with what happened at the end of this season finale, and I like how it connected to Fear the Walking Dead, which is another series that I am about to review when I finish reviewing this episode. But again, let me know what you thought. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm glad this season is over, and I cannot wait to meet Alpha and the Whispers and Magna and everybody else. I can't wait to see how the writers are going to bring the rest of the comic book story arcs to life. There have been things in the past 8 seasons that I have disagreed with. I have disagreed with a few things even more after reading the comic books, but I am a fan of Walking Dead. I will continue to watch this series until the wheels fall off. I respect all opinions. Leave them for me in the comment box as it pertains to The Walking Dead, and stay tuned because I got another review for you coming soon. I love you guys. Bye, guys. Bye. I'm so glad I'm reviewing Fear the Walking Dead because it's so awesome. I can't wait to tell you what I think. Bye, guys.